Are you curious what homeschool curriculum we're going to be using this year? Today, I'm going to share all of our curriculum choices for the 2022-2023 school year. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a homeschool mom of two. My kiddos are going to be in pre-K and in second grade this year. And on this channel, I love sharing videos to help families get started homeschooling with confidence and also to teach their kids how to read. So if those subjects are interesting to you, please hit subscribe so that you'll get notified whenever the new videos are released. This video is part of a collaboration with Ashley from A Dash of Home. If you haven't seen her channel yet, you definitely should. I'll put a link in the description of this video to where you can find it. I'm also going to put a link to the playlist from today's collaboration in the description of the video. So after you're done watching this video, you can go see everybody else's curriculum choices for 2022-2023 as well. So I want to start with the subjects that we do together as a family. And the first thing that we always do every day is our family Bible study. And this year we're going to be using Bible Road Trip again for our Bible study. I love this curriculum. We used it this year and it was fantastic. And my kids really loved it as well. So we're going to be using it again. It's a digital curriculum, but I had it printed at the homeschool printing company and bound up in this coil binder. So we'll be ready to use it for this year. I love this curriculum because it tells us exactly what to read and it gives us some questions to ask as well. So it has a daily reading plan for each week. It tells us what chapters and what verses to read, and then it gives us specific questions so that my kids can make sure that they get some takeaways out of what they're reading. For science, we're going to be using Science in the Scientific Revolution, which is part of the Berean Elementary Science and History series. I absolutely love this science book. I'm going to put a link to another video where I went into more depth about how to use this curriculum and why we like it. This is the third book in the series, and it goes through science from a historical perspective. So the first book talks about the days of creation, and then starting in the second book, they start at the beginning of recorded history and talk about different scientists and share about different science as it was developed in history. I also love this curriculum because every single lesson includes an experiment. So they're always in a blue box like this. And I love that the experiments are included right in the curriculum because I know that as a parent, I would not do the experiments if they weren't given to me there. And so it really encourages us to include experiments as part of our science time. And I love that most of the experiments are super easy for kids to do and can be done with just common household materials. So I absolutely love this science curriculum, and I'm so excited to be using it again. We also do history together as a family, and we're going to be reading The Story of the World, Volume 2, The Middle Ages. And I, on purpose, tried to line up the history curriculum with the science curriculum as much as possible. So we're studying the same time period in history, and then in science, we're studying the scientists who were doing their experimenting and discovering during that same time period. So it's been a really fun way for my kids to make connections from one subject to another. My son is going to be going into second grade, so I want to share some of the resources that he is going to be using for his second grade. First of all, for math, we're going to be using Beast Academy this year. Yesterday, I talked more in depth about Beast Academy and why we chose it, and I'll put a link to that video in the description of this one as well. We are excited about Beast Academy because I think it's going to be really fun for my son. It's got comic books for the textbook, and my son is really excited about those already. So that's a brand new curriculum to us, and I'm pretty excited about it. We are also going to be using Learning Language Arts Through Literature as his English Language Arts curriculum. I love this because it includes a whole bunch of different subjects in one book, and my state requires several different language arts subjects to be taught every year, and so this book covers all of those bases for us, which I really like. And I like the fact that it's based on real books. So my son is going to be reading all of the novels that are included as a part of this, and then we're going to be doing the activities as well. We have used this curriculum in the past and really liked it, and so I'm very excited to be using this again. My son also practices handwriting as a part of his homeschool curriculum. He struggles a little bit with handwriting, and so we really focus on that to be able to help him improve his skills. This year we're going to be using Handwriting Without Tears Printing Power. I think this book will probably only take us about half a year, so we probably will use their writing curriculum for the second half of the year, but I'm not sure yet. So this is the second grade printing book from Handwriting Without Tears. We have used Handwriting Without Tears for him since he was in preschool, and I really like this curriculum. I like how it's laid out, and I like the fact that the lines, it uses a 2-line system instead of 3 lines, which makes the handwriting a little bit easier for him to do. So I'm excited about this as well. My daughter is 4 and is going into her second year of preschool this year, so I wanted to share some of the resources that we're using for her as well. She really enjoys sitting down and coloring and doing different activities, and she is very excited to start school like her brother. So I bought a lot of resources for her, and I think that we're going to use parts of all of this, and I'm pretty excited for her to get started. We did not do as much written work with my son because he does not enjoy that, but my daughter really does, and so I want to be able to have the resources available for her. So one of the resources that we're going to be using is Singapore Math Essential Math for Kindergarten. She is only 4, but when I looked at this book, it seemed like the kinds of skills that she probably would be able to do. It seemed right for her. I know that she can already count, and she already knows many of her numbers, and so just paging through the book and looking at it, it looked like the level that she is at. So I love the fact that when we're homeschooling, we can choose whatever curriculum our kids need, no matter what level it says on the front cover that it is. So we're going to be using this year when she is looking for something to color, or when she wants something to do while my son is working on his math. And then we're also going to be using the Get Set for School My First School book from Handwriting Without Tears. And this is something that I use with my son as well. And this book says it has coloring, drawing, counting, writing, and school readiness. So it's got some simple pages like this. Here they're learning their colors. They're coloring things that are brown. And just a good introduction to that. And then the back half of the book is an introduction to the capital letters. And I love the way that Handwriting Without Tears does this. They encourage you to use manipulatives and to practice, and then it's just very simple practice of the letters. So we're going to be using that as well towards the end of the school year with her, and I'm really excited to see how she does with this. She already has taught herself how to write some of the letters. I'm not sure where that came from because her experience has been very different than the experience that I had with my son. But this seems to be something that she's really interested in and excited about, and so I do want to encourage her. We're also going to be using Sunlight's brand new pre-K curriculum, which is called Exploring God's World, and I did a separate video talking more in depth about this curriculum, and I also talked about it a little bit in yesterday's video, so I'll link all of that in the description if you want to learn more about this curriculum. I just put the first month's worth of the curriculum in this folder so that we would be ready for it. But this has a lot of read alouds, and so I think it's going to be a lot of fun and a really great introduction to school for her. And then my big focus with my daughter is going to be learning to read. She is really excited about reading, and we've been working on this a little bit already, and she's been doing great with it. So we're going to be using my Reading Better Together curriculum, and in this curriculum it has practice for sounds and for words. Everything is based on the science of reading and on how kids' brains learn how to read. And so that makes it a lot easier for kids to be able to learn. And I'm going to be saying the words that are in blue here. And then there are some reminders in black as well so that I can know what to be looking for. And then the thing that I love about this curriculum is that it includes side-by-side stories for us to read together. My daughter absolutely loves these. So what happens is there are parent pages where I can read to her, and it tells the details of the story and provides some more interesting information for her. And then on her pages, it has only words and letters that she already knows. And so we can read these books together, and she really enjoys doing this. She's super motivated by these, and they're a really fun way to just get her excited about reading. So we're going to be using that curriculum. I'll put links in the description of this video to where you can learn more about that curriculum as well. So those are our curriculum choices for this year. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified whenever a new video is released.